Hello. Okay, The Iron Claw, a movie that was released over in the States towards the end of last year. We've only just got it last weekend here in the UK. Been really looking forward to checking it out. I'm not aware of the Erich family, and I'm not really a fan of wrestling, but what this film does, what this story depicts, is a very emotional journey. It's about family and brotherhood, and this relationship between these brothers, and sort of how they are sort of mentally tormented by their father, and sort of this pressure that they're put under by the sort of the expectations that their father sets them, and sort of almost pits them against each other. It's beautifully told, but it's also done in a way that's profoundly sad and very tragic. The performances within this movie are fantastic. Every single performance helps elevate the emotional weight within this story. But the standout for me was Zac Efron. He is incredible here. He gives this very grounded, natural and nuanced performance where you can just sense the pain and frustration and torment that this character is going through, all done through how he holds himself and conveys his emotions. He does a really good job at conveying sort of the weight that this character has on his shoulders. You feel the pressure that this character is under, and I feel Zac Efron does it beautifully here. I just found his performance to be very real, very grounded, and just mesmerising to watch. He was superb. And the same goes to all the other actors playing the other brothers. You've got Jeremy Allen White, Harris Dickinson and Stanley Simons. They all do a fantastic job at conveying the pressure and frustration and pain that these characters are going through. But they also convince me that these are brothers. They are brothers who love each other, and that this family means the world to them. And it's sort of these performances and how they bring these characters to life allow me to buy into this family dynamic and this relationship with these brothers. I feel the love, I feel the passion, but I also feel the torment and frustration there, and sort of these sort of expectations that their father sets them. It's very cruel, and it's all elevated through these fantastic, very grounded and nuanced performances from all of the cast. And before I go into one of my minor gripes with this story, I just really want to sort of give praise and sort of how I felt they did such a great job at bringing to life this family dynamic and this relationship with these brothers, with their mother and their father. I just think they did a fantastic job at really conveying this family dynamic and sort of getting across to us, the viewer, what these characters were going through emotionally, mentally. And I really do think they did a good job at conveying that and getting that message across. But for me personally, I was missing just a little bit more depth and detail when it comes to these relationships, like with the mother and the father. And I just wanted a little bit more detail and depth when it comes to this family dynamic. Like, it's there, you see it, and it's conveyed beautifully. It's very tragic, but it ends up coming across more of, sometimes, sort of, it just ended up coming across a little bit more of sort of like a sequence of events. Everything is sort of on surface level. Like, it's there, you see it, you understand it, and it hits hard emotionally down to these stellar performances. But I just felt like it kind of skims across it. You know, like I said, it is there. They do a fantastic job at conveying this story of these brothers, and their relationship with their father and their mother. They do a great job at conveying this through the performances and the narrative. But I feel like we only ever really touch the surface of this very emotional, psychological war that's going on between these characters. Many may disagree with me on this and feel like it may, work perfectly fine as it is, and it does work. It does work fine. But for me personally, I was yearning for more of a deep dive into this family. Like, we get these moments with the mother which really sort of hits hard emotionally when it comes to, say, a conversation with one of her younger sons, and it's a beautiful moment. And again, the performances elevate sort of the emotional weight behind these moments, but I feel like it's only ever really touched on. It's sort of skimmed over. But at the same time, if it wasn't for these performances, perhaps, I don't think it would have had the emotional weight that this movie does have. And ultimately it does end up feeling more of a series of events that are effective, but just for me personally, wanted a little bit more of a deeper dive. There are two moments within this movie that I felt like stood out, but at the same time worked for what I felt like they needed to do, and that was add the emotional punch to this story. Like, it's a sad, tragic story anyway, but it's these two moments. There's this one particular moment where it's quite haunting, and you've got the mother sitting down watching TV, and you've got someone in the background on the stairs, and the way that moment plays out, it gave me goosebumps. It's a very sad and tragic moment, and again, it's a bit of a dive into the character of the mother and what she's feeling and what she's experiencing, and I just felt like we needed more of that. That's what I'm trying to say. And you've also got this moment in the third act where you've got all the brothers sort of meeting in this field. That's all I'm going to say, because I want to try and keep this as spoiler free as possible for those that are not familiar with this story of the family. But it's a moment that really does sort of help elevate the emotional weight along with the performances of this story. But it's also a moment that in a way felt a little bit random, and I don't want that to sound like it doesn't work within the entire, within the narrative, because it does. It was very effective, but I couldn't help but feel like it stood out a little bit, and I just felt like we needed more of these moments, like with the mother sitting down and that sort of character in the background, for example, and this moment within the third act. They just felt a little bit random to me within the entire sort of overall narrative. And so, again, this is a minor gripe for me, because as a whole, it works, but it also sort of kind of made me feel what it was that I felt like the story on the film was lacking for me personally, if that makes any sense. But these are all very minor gripes from me. This story, this movie, had me immersed from the opening scene. I was mesmerised by the performances from all of the cast, Zac Efron being the standout here. They are performances that beautifully capture the torment and pressure and pain that these characters are going through, and it's these glimpses into the family life and how they are brought to life through the performances and direction is what makes The Iron Claw a profoundly sad and emotionally powerful movie that will stay with you for days. It's a movie that really kind of makes you think and reflect on sort of your own relationship with your family and your siblings, whether you've got brothers or sisters. And this story did really resonate with me and sort of made me think and reflect on my own relationship with my brother. It's quite an impactful movie. I think it's quite an important story, and minor gripes aside, this was one hell of an emotional ride. And I was mesmerised right from the start. I was intrigued by this story. And I think it's a story about a family that I think a lot of people are going to be able to connect to and sort of relate to as well. So yeah, they are my thoughts on The Iron Claw. And I'm going to be giving The Iron Claw an 8.5 out of 10. So yeah, they are my thoughts on The Iron Claw, but what did you guys think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you agree with anything I said? Then please let me know in the comments below and let's get a discussion going. And if you want to watch future reviews from just some random Welsh geek rambling on, then please hit the subscribe button. It will mean an awful lot. I'm hoping to hit 500 subscribers by the end of this year. I'm very close to 300, and I just want to say a massive thank you to all those that have subscribed over the last couple of years. It means an awful lot. I didn't realise so many people would want to follow just some random Welsh geek rambling on about film. Just going back to Zac Efron for a moment, I can't help but feel whenever I'm watching him on the screen, whatever film it's in, whether it be The Iron Claw or Baywatch even, I can't help but sort of feel or think that Zac Efron would make a fantastic Robin or Nightwing. Does anyone agree? Let me know below. Maybe you think it's the worst idea ever. But I really do think that Zac Efron would make a fantastic Robin.
Holy, here we go again, Batman.
So yeah, a random one there, but yeah, thanks again for watching. I really do appreciate it. My next review will be for Madam Web. I'm looking forward to bringing you my thoughts on Sony's latest within the Spider-Verse. Yeah, from just looking at the trailers, it has a very kind of 90s superhero vibe to it. I'm very intrigued by it, so yeah, looking forward to bringing you guys my thoughts on Madam Web. So yeah, thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll be catching you guys soon.